Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to some more Toronto Raptors moves. Riker, the Raptors, obviously having a few guys out in health and safety protocols, are now sort of picking up the pieces, patching together the roster, and probably regretting saving that little extra bit of money cutting Sam Dekker, because it probably could have just paid off to bring him back. But we do have a couple of interesting players being picked up to the roster, and the first guy we'll talk about is Jawan Morgan, who is a guy, he's 6'7", so not a big center, but a bigger dude for 6'7". He played a couple of years with the Utah Jazz. You sort of have the good breakdown on him. I have his stats pulled up while in Utah. They're not very telling. You can see my face through his green screened out jersey, but 1.1 rebound per game, 46% from the field, 30% from the three-point line. But Riker, what are your thoughts on Jawan Morgan, specifically looking at his college career and G League performances?
Well, you called him a center. I think he's power forward, but he does have a bit of what.
I think I said he's not a center, or I might have misspoken.
You might have said, yeah, he's not really as big as a center, but that, typically that means he's power forward, which is why he plays in the G League and in college. Oh man. But let's break it down. So he had a slow start to college. He played with the Indiana Hoosiers. I don't know how to say it this way, or that pronunciation there. And then he improved to about 10 points, 10 rebounds. That's what I'm seeing here. Oh no, 16.7 rebounds per game. There you go. And then played 2 seasons with the Jazz. And then he was on the main Celtics. And I don't see those stats. So we're not going off of a ton here for Jawan Morgan.
I got his G League stats pulled up, right?
Oh, okay.
I'm ready to go for his main Celtics performances, but about 13 points per game.
Before we say it, point coming in, he grew up playing football as a wide receiver and quarterback. And then by the time he was 13, he was 6'3", began to focus more on basketball, where he joined AAU team and played with, flash it early, Ben, OG Anunoby. So we got a man here that does have experience with one Raptor player in particular, i.e. the best Raptor player right now in terms of notoriety, that's absolute legend status, because he's great on and off the court. Not our best player necessarily, but certainly I would consider OG the most beloved. So he's actually shared the court with OG in the past in 2015. As a matter of fact, Ben, I think you have it up on the screen. Take it away with the stats.
I got him stats. But that was the breakdown I was looking for. You were pulling up the old college stats and stuff, but definitely a bigger guy can. Obviously, we Raptors fans fell in love with the last football player we had to join the roster. Unfortunately, he was cut from the team, and Bonga isn't even playing right now. He doesn't even play the garbage minutes. So interesting decisions. Maybe it's more of a long-term viewpoint. However, Jawan Morgan, his stats aren't going to blow you away in the G League either. 13 points per game, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, steal, half a block a game, 70% from the field, which is pretty efficient. And he went from shooting 58% from the free throw line to 87% from the free throw line. So the jump shot, that's clearly improving, specifically with the free throws. 3-point percentage has also taken a massive leap, and he had a year stint in between G League seasons, but he jumped from 31% from the 3-point line to 39%, which is obviously puts you around the upper echelon shooters in the NBA, if you can obviously make that translate to the bigger stage, and doing it at 4 attempts a game as well. So obviously, we broke down Nick Stauskas in the previous video, bringing some scoring, bringing some of that ability off the bench. Morgan brings a sort of different dimension of scoring ability to this roster. Obviously, he's a bigger dude. We saw what Ishmael was able to do on the defensive end. Do you think Morgan has an opportunity to get some run here? Obviously, fits the archetype of a Toronto Raptors guy. That 6'7" through 6'9" range, big guy that can play a bit of defense and can score a little bit on the offensive end.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we're going to break down in a second, the other pickup is a 6-foot guard who we like to not play very much, as we saw Malachi Flynn spend a lot of time, more time on the bench this season than we expected. And it just makes sense. It's hard to score as a guy who's only 6 foot in the league unless you've had experience. And it's the old catch-22 where you can't get experience in the NBA without playing in the NBA. So I much more see Jawan, what's his last name? It's already slipped me. Jawan Morgan playing. Then our next guy, Ben, who we should break down here now, Brandon Goodwin. No relation to our own Josh Goodwin, if you were wondering.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Did you fact check that?
Check the family tree. I'm sure that there's maybe distant relation, but certainly not immediate, Ben. Brandon Goodwin, as I said, 6 foot tall, bit of experience. Same thing, I guess. A bit of G League experience, a little bit of an Atlanta Hawk experience. Yeah, break him down.
Yeah, obviously Brandon Goodwin, definitely relation to Josh Goodwin. You can see him on the screen, look exactly alike. But five points per game, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and the 3-point shooting. And this is his last season with the Atlanta Hawks. This isn't his G League stats, but 31%. But he was a guy that Atlanta Hawks fans really fell in love with. He was a player that brought the energy out there on the court, was signed to a 2-way deal, played for Denver, then Atlanta Hawks for 2 years, and then had a little bit of controversy going about him, Ryker, surrounding him in the media and stuff, but just an unfortunate situation for him. Following his, after he got vaccinated last year, apparently had blood clots, and some people were saying it's a coincidence, some people weren't, and then a bunch of people started talking about it, and then his most recent comments are people, I believe is on his Twitter, and it's people saying, tell your story, and he says, I don't have a story, I'm healthy now, and it is what it is. So he's pushed that drama behind him, I think, from his, apparently, reading through his Twitter and what Atlanta Hawks fans say, he's a great follow on Twitter, outspoken, brings that level of energy out there on the basketball court. So there's all of that, but that seems to be put into the past. I know some people were worried about that sort of coming in here, but he's a guy that can certainly get you buckets. He's an athlete, right? Energy player, can put up some decent points in the games. I had his G League stats pulled up, but they've seemed to have spooked off from my screen. Ryker, what are your thoughts on this pickup here?
Well, we'll see. I think if you're saying he's outspoken, he's played a couple of NBA games. He played 47 in last season with the Atlanta Hawks, and that would have been pretty good experience because they were a good team, obviously, last year, and he averaged 5 points per game, 38% from the field. You have to have a chip on your shoulder as a 6 foot guy to make the NBA. So perhaps it's better than another 6'7" person who would have dominated any league that they played before and might not have the right work ethic to make it, especially when they're going to be coming in playing potentially spot minutes or garbage minutes. You got to make the most of that time. So I'm not that intrigued by this guy, but you could see that if, like you said, if a fan base supported him, especially an Atlanta fan base that was good, their team was good last season, and he was able to contribute 13 minutes per game, he might be able to come in, provide a bit of the scoring that the Raptors need, Ben.
Yep, exactly. And looking at his stats here now, right, got those pulled up. They were pulled up and then they disappeared. But 15 points per game, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Can really fill up the stat sheet, fill up the box score, and do things as a 6 foot guard.
Sounds like a Fred VanVleet stat line, Ben.
Yeah, it can really do things as a 6 foot guard that you need to be able to do to get out there on the court. And as you said, if fan bases are falling in love with you, if you're one of those deep bench guys, like obviously we are as Raptors fans, that really enjoy the presence, seeing the sparks coming on the court. I remember there was frustration amongst Atlanta Hawks fans that Chris Dunn, obviously the bigger name, the guy that was drafted in the lottery, all that sort of stuff, was getting more minutes than Goodwin, right? There's frustration there, and they were heartbroken because he didn't get re-signed by the Atlanta Hawks last season, ended up going to the New York Knicks, and then didn't end up getting to play there. But they were all very frustrated that he went to obviously the Knicks and the Hawks have a big rivalry there. And apparently he was talking some smack to the New York Knicks out there on Twitter and all that sort of stuff. And they were surprised he switched sides on them. But it is what it is. Guys are trying to make their teams get into the league. And I'm excited to see if he gets some opportunity. And Ryker, as you sneeze, as you
I muted myself.
Oh, you muted? Okay, we chilling. But Riker, out of Nick Stauskas, Goodwin, and the name Morgan. I was gonna say Wara.
We're terrible.
Jordan Wara. That's what I was gonna say. It popped into my head, but Morgan, my goodness gracious. Riker, we're losing it right now. Who do you think has the best opportunity of getting run on this sort of opportunity here now with players in and out of the lineup?
Well, I would say Stauskas, most veteran, best shooter on paper. But I also said Sam Decker, and I got burned saying that. He didn't even graze the court. So it's tough to say who's going to play. It'll probably end up being more of positional, whoever goes down or whatever spot is the most vacated because of health and safety. We'll see how it plays out. I'm expecting Nick Stauskas to play some amount of minutes, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will definitely see. And, maybe it could be Morgan just because the style of the Raptors play, but who really knows? Let us know in the comment section who you're most excited about. Do these moves have bigger implications, or is it just health and safety? We always got to throw that out there. We
They call it, Ben, I said it the last time, I didn't know the exact terminology, the hardship exception. That's what they're calling it. So you can have more roster players because health and safety.
Yeah.
There you go.
Raptors making moves, big stuff. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. You're the best to make it this far. Check out the Instagram, the Twitter, the TikTok, all that cool stuff. Subscribe to Raptors Digest, really helps us out. And Riker, got the merch, got all that stuff going. Do you have any last words on our guys?
I don't. Welcome to the TO. Hopefully you make it across the border. Cheers.
Yeah, that's the scary thing now. Hopefully we let our players come back to Canada to play our games, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.